Shitcoin.com.
And we're live. Hey, Andreas, how's it going?
Excellent.
Good. Our guest this week, guys, Zane Tackett from FTX. Hey, Zane, how are you, man?
Doing well.
But I mean, so everyone, for those of you that don't know, you probably know Zane. I mean, he's been in the Bitcoin and wider crypto space for a while. But he works on the sales team at FTX and BizDev. And before that was at OKX, Bitfinex, B2C2. I mean, you pretty much worked, seems like everywhere that you could possibly want to work in the industry, right? You've been all over the place. But Zane, I guess with being at FTX, it seems like during this mini dump, the only things that look okay are Sam coins. So yeah, that's a good spot to be in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably just because they're all solid projects. Solana has been doing very well. It's got some farms that are popping up and a ton of the ecosystems being built out. FTX continues to crush it. So, FTT is doing quite well. And Sam put out a post just yesterday about Serum regarding our buy and burn. I think we're like it's the fourth highest amount of fees going back to users via, burn or whatnot. And so, I think everything that Sam's touched so far has gone very well. He's got the Midas touch, so to speak, within crypto. So it's a good guy to be working with.
And so in that whole ecosystem, you have FTT, which is the FTX token on the exchange. Then you have project, which is called Solana, which is the blockchain. I think it's similar to Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, Avalanche, and Tron. That's like who's competing with.
Yeah, its difference is that it's mainly built around very high transaction throughput and very low fees. So when we were looking at what to build Serum on, or rather when Sam was, he spoke with the Solana team, and it's a very good fit for like an on-chain DEX. And just on Serum, the amount of transactions it's done, just Serum, not Solana itself, has already surpassed the total amount of transactions Ethereum has ever done. Just because every time somebody changes an order, modifies an order, places an order, a trade is executed, that's all on-chain transactions. So Solana is just a very high throughput, quick chain.
And then Serum is one of the DEXs, right?
Yeah. Project Serum was, I believe, the first DEX on Solana, and FTX is a partner of Serum.
Speaking of the Solana stuff, I picked up some of that Cope airdrop, so I'm a Coper now, which was fun. That was an easy 10K just off nothing. I'm
kicking
nice.
myself for being too lazy to do that one. And then it had really good returns for farming on Radium. They had a fusion pool for Cope and Ray, and it did very well.
Oh, so Cope is a token on Solana.
Yeah, it was it was organized, I think, in a Discord, and it was a big airdrop. And like Blake said, I think it's worth something like 10K now. All you had to do is get in the Discord, and then they airdropped it to you. And then they launched a fusion pool with Bonfida for yield farming it.
They had a bit of a shit show with the airdrop though, because they obviously, as soon as people realized, even when it was worth like a couple of grand, like everyone, all these Pidgeets started swarming in, and everyone wanted the airdrop. So I think it was an interesting launch.
Yeah, that kind of I should pay more attention to airdrops. I had never really taken the time or anything to collect them or see what's being done. Just kind of check my wallet. Oh, that's nice, but any participation, never done that. So then after seeing Cope, I was like, oh shit, maybe I should pay a bit more attention to collect an easy 10K. But we'll see what's up.
Have you guys gone through those? There's one called I'll find it. It's a Versal app thing. You just put in your address and you can see all the airdrops, but there's usually a few grand sitting in each wallet. For you guys, I'm sure you've probably got a bunch of wallets that you can pick up easy money from. So
yeah, I think I took a look at one of those. Didn't end up doing it, but I probably should.
Yeah, there's a bunch of I got some random stuff like these paint tokens. I don't know what that does, but it's just yeah, they're everywhere. So I was gonna ask as well. So you're like a SRM partner, right? What in terms of like where SRM's going, like how do you see that growing going forward?
I think one of the biggest things that that needs to be tackled is just more usability. So like, you know, at the beginning it was just Solid Wallet, and we've since got an extension up, Solid extension, which makes it, you know, much more like the kind of familiar MetaMask experience, which helps. Phantom Wallet is something that's coming out soon, I believe, and people have spoken very highly of the UX there. But like when the Cope airdrop happened, you saw a lot of people like their first kind of their first time using Solana, and there were a few pain points people did mention. You know, like the UI UX just isn't as smooth with some of the wallets. Obviously, you know, actually using the Solana and getting the instant transactions and confirmations and like super low fees is really good. But I think a lot of the infrastructure needs to be built out around it, just to have, you know, tools to make it a lot easier, and, you know, portfolio management and things like that. I think Step Finance is one of the people that's tackling that. But basically, you know, there's a ton of tooling and infrastructure that needs to be built out around and for Solana, and we're seeing a good bit of that come around now. But I'd say that's kind of like one of the biggest things that the Serum or Solana ecosystem needs.
Sweet.
And what are the fees like if you do like a swap on a DEX, right?
On Solana, like, yeah, fractions of a penny per transaction, like good bit less than a penny per transaction, and so pretty easy to use. Like farming on Radium, it's super smooth, you know, especially after coming from Ethereum, where you can pay like $100 on some of the contract interactions.
Yeah,
Radium experience is quite nice.
I've never done any of the DeFi stuff really on Ethereum, so I haven't felt the pain of the fees as much as I know Blake, you did it a bit, and I know Zane, you did it. Yeah, so when Binance Smart Chain is getting so much adoption, I was really surprised. But then I tried to use something on Binance Smart Chain, and it's so much better than Ethereum.
Yeah.
I know it's like, oh yeah, my decentralization and everything, but Ethereum is so slow and so expensive, and like to the point where you don't even know if your transaction or your trade went through. It's like, should I click the button again, or like you don't know what's going on.
And one thing that like
extremely frustrating.
I've dealt with, you know, the high fees of like Bitcoin back in 2017, well, I guess again now, and spending like $50 for a transaction and waiting hours for it to confirm. And that sucks. But like with Ethereum, the thing that really just grinds my gears is when you pay all that money for a transaction and then it fails.
Yeah.
I'll wasted $150, and I guess I'll try again and hope I don't lose $150 again.
That was the biggest shock for me when I tried because the Cope airdrop thing was the first time I'd used Solana, and I was like, they're like, oh, you need to put some Solana in your wallet, and I was like, okay, I'll just buy like 3 or 4 to put in there, and I'm using it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's using like literally nothing. It's pretty wild. But I guess it's the same with the Binance Smart Chain stuff, which I guess, speaking about that, I know that I heard that you've been dabbling a little, Andreas, checking out some Binance Smart Chain things. What's your initial verdict after looking at it?
I've actually been spending the last 2 days adding support for BNB on Binance Smart Chain to Sideshift, which is my exchange, and it is a copy paste of Ethereum, man. It's just you don't have to change anything. It's exactly the same. So I'm guessing they just took the source code for Ethereum and just removed the mining and done, because that's what it seems like. The addresses are the same, so you can use your old private keys, so you can use the same wallet seed as you're using on Ethereum. It's a copy paste. So yeah, it was Zane who got me into this. So now I'm like, every morning I head out to the the pancake bunny farm where all my cake is. And then it's like you get money for the cake, and then you get the bonus bunny, and you put the bunny in the bunny boost on the pancake bunny farm.
I love that this is
I-
real money being made.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is this
Now,
real?
Kitty,
And-
and then like there's what, $3.5 billion in TVL on Pancake Bunny.
Yeah, it is. It is so unreal. And I was looking at the words, and they made it so close to a video game, the way it looks and the whole thing.
Just like
So
yeah,
it's at the point where actually this morning I looked up how much I'm paying in fees on Binance Smart Chain, because what I do now is if I'm bored, I'm just watching TV, I'll just go to the Pancake Bunny farm and just click around for a bit.
Oh, and one other thing with Binance Smart Chain that like made farming quite nice or easy there is because it is also EVM compatible. They were able to, like, a lot of the Ethereum farming tools were able to port over for BSC quite easily. So, you know, things like the bank, you can see all your BSC assets as well as Ethereum in one place, which is like very nice and convenient. And so they got like a pretty good, right after launching, you know, they were able to get quite a few good tools to support BSC, which has made it good bit easier for people to, you know, farm there and use it and whatnot. And Solana needs, you know, it needs to have some more projects launch on it, or some more tooling sites add support for it.
I love Vitalik, but it's made in a very clumsy way. At least from my understanding, it doesn't seem like you can make it fast no matter what you do, because it's too much of a sandbox. You can do literally anything, and any contract can interact with any contract. When you have a full node on Ethereum, it is reading random shit all over your hard drive all the time. So it just kills the performance, because there's so many reads all the time, because it has to look up all of this data about smart contracts and then change them, and it's really tough like that. So Binance Smart Chain gets, by copying Ethereum, is they get all of the contracts, all of the smart contracts already made, all the products. But I already saw a tweet today that the Binance Smart Chain node is already starting to run up to the limits of what Go Ethereum, which is a very popular node, what it can actually do.
Yeah, it had
yeah.
It slowed down a lot, what, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago. And like a lot of the sites weren't, like when Venus had its issues, a lot of the transactions were taking forever, and a lot of the sites were under like really heavy load and not working, and the network was struggling. Some Ethereum maxis were pretty happy to trot that out, but I'm curious to see as it grows more, like if it starts to run into similar issues that we've seen with Ethereum, or, you know, if it slows down much. Like, that is definitely one thing that Solana has going for it. Just it can process a ton of transactions very quickly. So, you know, as things start scaling up, it'll be very interesting to see how all these different protocols continue to compete and like where they stand against each other.
Yeah, because it feels like Solana will be competing against Avalanche, actually, because Avalanche is also very fast because it's not a copy of Ethereum. And then Binance Smart Chain will be competing, I guess, against Ethereum.
Yeah.
But in the DEX space, I mean, in the DEX space, everyone is competing as everyone.
Yeah, it's I feel like it's just people are gonna go wherever there's good yield, and that's one thing that Binance Smart Chain had going for it. Like right after it launched, there were lots of good you know, high yield farms, and so a bunch of people went there. Like Radium has gotten some good traction, but, you know, it'd be nice to see some more farms on Solana. I tried to mess around with Avalanche, the Pangolin exchange, but had some issues with the bridge, and then I need to take the time to go back and try it out, but I just haven't yet. And then I guess you also have the Chinese ones like Hiko, Huobi's like version of Binance Smart Chain, and I think OKCoin has one as well, but I've never looked at that. But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of competitors to Ethereum now, and there's quite a bit of activity there. Like I think mDex, which is on Hiko, has like 3 billion TVL or something like that. So obviously there is a lot of demand for lower fee, like good usability blockchains that can compete with Ethereum.
What is mDex? I saw it on some ranking, but I don't even know what it is.
It's just like another DEX that's built on, it's also on Binance Smart Chain now, but originally it was on Hiko, which is like Huobi ecosystem chain, I think. Yeah, it's very Chinese in its UI and UX. Like, I don't think the website's very pretty or anything, but they had good yields and a lot of people put a ton of money in, and obviously have a pretty big user base through being from Huobi and being like a large Chinese project. But yeah, I think mDex has done pretty well. Their token hasn't really appreciated much in price. It's mostly gone down, I think. Whereas like Bunny is obvious, or Pancake is obviously gone from like $1 down to 50 cents and now up to 25, 27 or whatever. So I wouldn't say it's had like the performance that we've seen on BSC, but it's also gotten a good bit of traction.
What do you guys think of this? I don't really know that much about it, but the EIP 1559 thing that they're going to be pushing on Ethereum, it's going to get all the gas down, right?
I think it gets the gas down. I think it's that it burns Ethereum used in transactions, and so it reduces supply. And so instead of becoming inflationary, Ethereum should, for the people that think it'll have a huge effect, become deflationary as a lot of the Ethereum is burned.
That's very interesting because the Bitcoin maximalists have always criticized Ethereum because of the issuance, right?
Yeah, well, they said that like Vitalik way back when, I think in 2015 or maybe even 2014, was saying that Ethereum will never have more than 100 million coins in existence. And I think we're like 120 million now. So a good bit beyond what they predicted for the inflation schedule. And I don't think that they've done anything like reducing block rewards or anything like that to kind of cap inflation. So I guess this is their way to solve that, where you can still have more coins being issued via block rewards, but you'll also have like a downward pressure, coins being removed from circulation by burning them through EIP 1559. We'll have to see how it works in practice and see like if it actually does remove that many Ethereum from protocol or from circulation. But it seems decently bullish. I'm kind of surprised Ethereum hasn't had more of a run compared to Bitcoin this year. Like the amount of Ethereum adoption that we see now versus 2017 is nuts. The amount of projects, the amount of money being used in different projects on Ethereum, it's way higher. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is, somewhat of a catalyst for Ethereum to go on its crazy run, but we'll see.
Yeah, also I noticed like recently the BTC dominance is down, isn't it? Quite a bit. It's like the lowest it's been since mid 2018. It's at around 52%. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that do you think now that it will kind of be distributed amongst more projects, as there's like, there's Solana, there's Binance Smart Chain, or yeah, do you see that rising again? I'm intrigued what your thoughts are on that.
I guess I'll go first. I think that it'll continue to go down during a bull market, and then during a bear market, it'll kind of recapture some of that. But I don't really think it's a great metric, just because there's a ton of cryptos out there that have like insane market caps, but it doesn't really reflect reality. Like people can spin up a new project that gets $1 billion market cap or whatever. It's not even in the top 100, and then all of a sudden that counts against BTC's market dominance. But then if you like actually went to sell 10,000 or 25,000 of that coin, it might tank it. The liquidity is there or anything. So I wouldn't say that market cap dominance is like a good metric to go by, but people like to look at it anyways.
Yeah, everyone loves the stats.
I think in the bear market that is most likely coming, I guess this or next year, I think more people will sell their shitcoins and DeFi assets into Bitcoin, whereas last time maybe even more people would sell their Ethereum or their shitcoins into USD. I don't know if Zane agrees, but when these big companies say they're buying Bitcoin, holding it on the balance sheets and these funds, they're not going to sell if it dumps, right? It's just, that's not what you do. You made a decision, now you're going to hold. So then maybe other people look at them and be like, hey, if Tesla doesn't want to change the Bitcoin for dollars, if the market is down, and like, why would I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it has kind of cemented itself as a legitimate investment, which, you know, from people in the space, I feel like we've had that opinion for a while, but, you know, new entrants or people outside of the space are just starting to reach that conclusion. And so in the next bear market, it might be more, I don't know, palatable to just move to Bitcoin and hold there. And like Andrea said, you know, when you make these investment decisions, just kind of have like a longer time horizon on it. And so, yeah, I could see people selling into Bitcoin more than before, where they just might cash out entirely.
And I mean, another thing to think about is that the US dollar and fiat in general has always been performing pretty poorly if you compare to like gold or just purchasing power. But in the last, I mean, at least the last year and a half with all this COVID stuff, they are really, really shit coins right now. There's so much printing, there's so much debt. You know, people are, in a lot of countries, people are at home not working and receiving money from the government that the government does not have. So they create it, and you can see the, you know, the price of a lot of goods, and yeah, the price of Bitcoin, the price of everything is going up really fast. So I think it feels like a lot of normal people are starting to lose a little faith in fiat money pretty fast. And this whole meme, you know, this whole meme with buying Bitcoin with my stimulus checks, it's a meme, but it feels like a lot of people did that. And a lot of people I know personally, so we're talking about normies, right? Not in the industry, in their mid-20s. They got government handouts and they signed up for crypto exchanges like Coinbase or Kraken or, you know, like the big easy ones. And they straight up bought Bitcoin with the euros or dollars that they received from the government. And yeah, what a time to be alive.
They're doing all right.
You're straight up just taking all the money from the boomers and just giving it to us.
That's transfer of wealth, man. It's all going to the TikTok investors.
But it is going to be great. I think there seems to be this whole like TikTok investor trend, and everyone sees everything, every asset, every single coin going up and 20xing, 50xing, 100xing, and then all of a sudden when this bear market kicks in, eventually, it's going to be cool to see who's still around, I think.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see like what happens to some of the farms during a bear market. Like I can't imagine many are going to stick around because, you know, APYs are going to dive if the farm token dives, and it'll be interesting to see if like any farming kind of exists or sticks around and survives through a bear market.
And also as well, is it aren't there some actual risks with on the lending stuff? Like some of the lending platforms, if the price does really tank, then it's going to cause so many liquidations. And I don't know too much about it, but just what you read on Twitter, I guess. Do you have any insight into that?
I mean, I think that they've done, you know, a pretty good job of like building it out, and like I don't know how much you get on Aave, like how much over collateralized you have to do, but we have seen some pretty big liquidations, like whether it be from market moves or just Oracle issues. Like I think it was on Comp where USDT, they got like a bad price stream and they liquidated a ton of people. It was either DAI, it might have been DAI actually. And like they handled the liquidations fine. But, you know, and like even over the weekend, we had a huge dump and it was very quick and it didn't seem like they really struggled that much. But on Venus, I think you can you need to over collateralize by 140% or something like that, and so there's like a pretty big buffer of collateral where they can liquidate you if needed. So it kind of kills, it's not very capital efficient, but I guess it is kind of more safe, so to speak. So they are covered a bit.
Yeah, one thing I've been wondering about a bit, if you see the volume on Pancake Swap on Binance Smart Chain is going up really high. And it's really funny because then Binance, the company, is cheering it on. And I suspect the same will happen with FTX, so that if the trading volume on Serum or Solana in general goes up, or maybe even someday will surpass the volume of FTX, then you guys will also be cheering it on. If this happens, then the thing I thought would never happen, and I said it would never happen, will happen, which is that people will move from the centralized exchanges to the decentralized ones. But in a super weird way, because it will be the centralized exchanges themselves pushing the users out. I don't know if it's like a regulatory arbitrage or if it's just less work, but it's I think it's genius.
It is, yeah, it's kind of interesting, but I think fundamentally, like the types of trading done on sexes versus dexes is quite different, especially because before Serum, there weren't really any viable on-chain order books. Serum kind of changed that, but one thing with FTX is FTT holders, like they still get rewarded from Serum. For every 500 FTT you have, I think you get 3 Serum every week airdrop to you. So like if Serum's crushing it and the price of Serum goes up, it also benefits FTT holders. And then I'll be interested to see how the derivative space in DEXs kind of evolves, because to date, everything's been pretty much spot. There's been some projects that are doing decentralized perps or decentralized options or futures or whatever, but none of them have really done big volumes yet. And so at least a lot of shitcoin trading has kind of gone to Uniswap and Pancake Swap and DEXs. But liquidity is still very much dominated by the sexes, and derivatives trading is obviously like 99.9% on centralized exchanges. So I'm still, I don't know if we'll see DEXs really ever overtake centralized exchanges, but we'll see. I'm surprised at how much volume Uniswap or Pancake Swap has been doing lately. It is pretty impressive, but I don't know. I feel like centralized exchanges are still going to hold a lot of advantages for the average user over the decentralized exchanges. So I think they have a pretty good stronghold there.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how this all develops. I'm sure for anyone who keeps following the show, we'll keep you updated with how the market goes. Yeah, we'll keep you updated. Thanks a lot, Zane. I really appreciate your time. And yeah, thanks again, Andreas. And thanks again, guys, for everyone tuning in. We'll make sure to leave a bunch of links for Zane in the description, show some of his projects. And yeah, speak soon.
Shitcoin.com